What is going on, guys? Moon3Yo here, and in today's video we're going to be going over 2024 Bowman card prices 1 month after its release. Now in this video we obviously are not going to go over every top prospect that is in this set. We are going to be focusing on first Bowman cards and are going to be focusing on the top prospects that I highlighted in my Topps 2024 Bowman breakdown video. If you haven't seen that video, link is going to be down in the description down below, and card is going to be around here somewhere. But if you guys do want to see an in more depth analysis of some other players, maybe like a Kyle Teal, a Yoelin Cespedes, Arjun Nimala, George Lombard Jr., please feel free to leave a comment and like down below, because I do enjoy making these types of videos, but I kind of want to stay within the flow of my original video and focus on the top 3 players that I covered, which was of course Walker Jenkins, Aiden Miller, and Cruz. So in this video we are going to highlight the 3 players here, see what they're currently doing in the minor leagues here, and obviously take a look to see what their card prices started at and where they're currently at right now. So with all that being said, let's dive deep into the video. First player we're going to focus on is Aiden Miller from the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, these are the updated rankings except for Fangraphs. Fangraphs, for whatever reason, takes their sweet time and updated the rankings, and they're pretty low on him. I was reading their scouting report here. They believe he has a little bit of a longer swing and may not be able to catch up to some high velocity. So that is potentially something you want to keep an eye on here if you are tracking Miller for your own personal rankings. So you can see here, MLB top pipeline, they ranked him here at 47. This was updated here, I believe, about a month ago. Baseball America ranked him at 73. They just updated their rankings here at the beginning of May. So these are fairly up to date. Now, taking a look here at his numbers. Now, these are courtesy of Fangraphs. These are filtered out to the numbers that I like looking at. I preface that in other previous videos. These are numbers that I just like looking at for established players and or younger players, especially if you want to see, what they're doing down in the minor leagues, or, once they eventually get the call up to the major leagues. So you can see here, 2023 didn't have that strong of a showing in single A, only hit 216, only had 10 games under his belt, 37 plate appearances, so not a lot to show for. Did strike out here at a pretty alarming rate at almost 23%. On base percentage sitting at 341, so that is pretty respectable. The slugging OPS a little bit lower for my liking. Also the ISO pretty low here. WOBA, BABIP not too great, and WRC plus below the threshold. Now, as far as of right now, he is making the adjustment, and you can see that within his numbers. Obviously having a lot more games under his belt here, sitting at 34 games. Sitting close to pushing 150 plate appearances, 150 at bats with 160 plate appearances. You can see here the home runs, 5 home runs, scored 26 runs, driven in 25. Walk to strikeout ratio, pretty good, pretty decent in my opinion. Batting average here, sitting close to 300. Walk percentage is higher, 15.6%. K percentage down 2%. So it is pretty respectable. That's basically league average. And taking a look here at the on-base percentage, sitting at 431, slugging at 523, and OPS pushing almost 1,000. So that's pretty respectable, along with the ISO sitting at 227. So it is pretty good there, along with the BABIP. So when he's not hitting home runs, he's only 363, which is pretty good as well. WOBA, what are the extra base hits doing and contributing to his team and contributing to his value, sitting at 450, and WRC plus sitting at 173. So overall, as far as of right now, doing a pretty good showing down there in single A. And for me, what I like to do here is focusing on what are they doing per month. Are they improving? Are they getting a little bit worse? Are they striking out a little bit higher? Are there adjustments? So that is one thing here that I like to put and review. And this is courtesy of Baseball Savant. So you can see here down in single A here from April, had a pretty good showing here, 309, 371 on base percentage, slugging OPS pretty well. In May, had the same on batting average here, but you can see he was getting on base at a better clip and was hitting for more power. So that is pretty good. That's what you want to see from him, especially if he's playing a corner position like shortstop, or down the line here is going to transition down to third base. You can see here, as far as of right now in June, I am recording this here as far as of June 4th. So I'm not too sure when this video will be uploaded, but as far as of right now, has had a little bit of a slow start, but overall nothing to be alarming. So overall, Aiden Miller putting on a pretty good showing so far down there in single A. Next player to focus on here is going to be Walker Jenkins from the Minnesota Twins. Now, per the updated rankings here, MLB had him at 7, Baseball America had him 12, and Fangraphs had him at 29. So a little bit lower once again, like we saw with Miller, comparable to Baseball America and MLB Pipeline. Now, obviously we're not going to see any updated numbers for him as far as right now, because he was dealing with an injury. He's on a rehab stint here, so there wasn't really too many numbers here to focus on as far as what he's doing right now. But you can see here what he's done in the short stint here that he had at the Complex League and in Single A. Didn't have a lot of games, obviously only one at bat, one game under his belt here down in Single A. But we can see what he was doing in the Complex League was pretty impressive. So you can see here at 9 games, 28 at bats, 37 plate appearances here. No home runs to show for, but the thing that I was keeping an eye on here was his walk percentage. So walking at 21.6% while hitting 393 and only striking out 5.4%. That is pretty respectable. So that's one thing I do like about his game so far. And hopefully he can transition it when he goes down through Single A and carries on through Double A, Triple A, and hopefully up in the majors. Now on base sitting at almost pushing over 500, slugging at 571, on base OPS sitting over 1,000. ISO, not a lot of power because obviously didn't hit for too many, didn't get too many opportunities to hit. So the ISO a little bit low, but that's fine. BABIP sitting at 407, WOBA sitting at 512, and WRC plus sitting at 188. So pretty respectable. I wish he didn't get hurt so we can see the numbers will look like as far as when he goes through the system and per month. But since the injury, not too many numbers to look at, but you can see once again as far as what he's doing in the Complex League is pretty impressive for his age. And last but not least, here we have is Cruz from the Washington Nationals. Now, MLB Pipeline and Baseball America do agree here on the rankings, having him coming in at number 6, and Fangraphs here does have him at number 10. So nothing too crazy as far as the difference. So like we saw with Jenkins and Aiden Miller. Now we can see here down in Single A in 2023, put on a pretty good show. Had 5 home runs, drove in 24. But something you do want to keep an eye on here is going to be the strikeout rate, striking out pushing nearly 30%. So it is pretty alarming, but we're still putting some pretty good power numbers here and showing off the power in Single A. Had an OPS over 1,000, ISO pushing over 300, BABIP and WOBA over 400, WRC plus pushing nearly 200. So pretty good numbers here for his age and for that showing. Now in 2023 in Double A was a little bit of a struggle. You can see here it had no home runs, had 72 at bats, so not 10 more than what he had in Single A. But you can see here once again the strikeout rate, 4% of a difference, but still striking out at a pretty alarming rate at 22.4%. And you can see here the power just did not translate. But as far as of right now, it is a little bit of a difference here. Having more games under his belt, sitting at 39 games, 142 at bats, 163 plate appearances. We can see here 4 home runs, scored 20 runs, driven in 31, and the average here not as high as what he had in Single A, but still for his age, 275, pretty respectable. The walk percentage here a little bit lower, only at 8%. Once again, the K percentage pushing nearly 25%. So it's something I'm going to keep an eye on personally as he goes through the majors here and goes through the minor league levels. And when looking at the power numbers, you can see here the OPS in at 803. So above league average, so here, but not bad. Obviously here we would love to see him pushing over the thousands, but 803 here, still a pretty good showing here for in Single A. The ISO, you want to see something over 200, so it is a little bit below that. BABIP, not bad, sitting at 350s, along with WOBA sitting over at 366, and WRC plus sitting at 127. So it's still, above league average. Now, the thing here that I do like, and what I'm liking here from Dylan Cruz so far, is the improvements that he's made as he's, trotted along here in Double A. So you can see here in April, had a pretty slow month here, courtesy of Baseball Savant, only hitting 224, on base percentage sitting below 300, and on OPS sitting below 700. So was a little bit alarming here. Now in May, you can see the improvements here being made. Had the same amount of home runs, drove in 7 more. The walk to strikeout ratio, pretty, I would say, better. Not the best here looking compared to 3 to 20, 10 to 17, you'll take that any day. Batting average here sitting at 298, on base percentage pushing 400, slugging over 500, OPS pushing 900. So pretty good there. And as far as of June, only 10 plate appearances, 9 at bats here, but putting a pretty good showing here so far. Hitting 333, on base over 400. Again, a small showing, but is showing that he is making the adjustments, which is what you want to see from a player his age and as he goes through the minor league levels. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Chrome Prospect Autos. These are just the standard base cards here. They're not numbered to anything. Obviously, the number cards are going to be a little bit more depending on which parallel that you're looking for. So this is initially here off the rip here, off release. So you can see here May 8th, we had our first sales and listings here being made. So Dylan Cruz pushing at $453, Walker Jenkins with an average of $350, and Aiden Miller sitting at an average here $167. So a lot lower compared to his counterparts here. And then we see a little bit of dip here. Dylan Cruz going down to 380, Walker Jenkins sitting down at 340, and Aiden Miller going down to $160. So nothing too crazy as far as a difference to Miller. But you can see here, Jenkins and Cruz are just going to be kind of going up and down, which is what to expect here with these types of cards, because the highly touted prospects here, they're ranked as we saw here. So if you got them from the initial rip, I would say it's always good to, unless you're a long-term holder, of course, not financial advice, but for me, like if you're pulling a Cruz or Jenkins, those are players typically maybe you want to list. Maybe not right now, as we can see by the graphs. So we're going to take a look here at those prices. But if you got those at the rip, might have been a good time to list them, because you can see here now, after less than a week and a half of the price here of what compared to the initial listings. And now here you can see it again. Walker Jenkins 200, Dylan Cruz sitting at 234, and Aiden Miller sitting at 117. And shooting off here to the most recent date here, Walker Jenkins here sitting at $181, Dylan Cruz sitting at 210, and Aiden Miller sitting below 100. So these cards here are fairly low for where they're at compared to what they're listed. So, take this information once again for a grain of salt. I'm not telling you to go out and go buy a whole rainbow parallels of Dylan Cruz and Jenkins and Miller. But I mean, if you believe in these players, you follow them pretty closely, potentially this may be a good time to get, into their cards. But again, that's just, what you will have to do your own research for that. I don't own any of these autos. I am taking a look here at Cruz. I do want to get him added to my collection, my own PC. I followed him and Skeens down at LSU, so hopefully I can get a Cruz card eventually, maybe when the price go lower. But as you saw with the numbers, he is trending upwards. So once he gets to call to AAA, there's going to be potentially that increase in price. Walker Jenkins is starting that rehab assignment, so once he goes down to AA, maybe his price is increased. Aiden Miller put on a pretty good show down in single A. So you just have to kind of, do your own research. You do have to do your own research and see, if they believe that's a good price point, if it's a long-term hold, short-term flip, what are you going to do with that card? So there you have it, guys. That was the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Now, again, want to preface here, I am not telling you to go out and buy stacks of these players' autographs and their parallels and their inserts. This is my own personal opinion. I love doing the research here. Love diving deep into the numbers here to see what they're doing and how that translates to the card. So if you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed this content, please feel free to leave a like here. You guys absolutely killed that Bowman video, which I absolutely do appreciate it. So again, if you haven't seen it, card will be around here somewhere once again at the beginning of the video and down in the description down below if you have not seen it, so you guys can see what other prospects that I covered. If you have yet to hit the subscribe button, please feel free to hit the subscribe button here. I believe we're now 70-ish away from 500. And again, I will be giving away an Ellie Deadly Cruz card, which you didn't see that video of me opening up some retail boxes. The link will be down in the description down below for that video as well. I am going to be going to a card show this weekend, so if you guys want to see a video on that, again, comment down below as well, and I will be making a video covering that as far as what I picked up and what I saw at that card show. So again, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.